Here's a new one for you. Let me tell you about the time I tried to fix a leaky faucet and ended up flooding my kitchen. Spoiler, I am not a plumber, and I should never attempt to be one. So it started with this tiny drip. You know the kind. A quiet, rhythmic drip, drip, drip that feels like it's mocking you. I figured it was no big deal. I mean, how hard could it be to fix a faucet, right? I hopped on YouTube, watched a couple of tutorials, and thought, I've got this. All I needed was a wrench and some confidence. Problem is, I had a wrench. Confidence? Not so much. The first step seemed easy. Turn off the water supply. I found the valve under the sink and twisted it. Or at least I tried to twist it. The thing wouldn't budge. I pulled, pushed, and even tried hitting it lightly with the wrench, because clearly that's a professional technique. Finally, with a lot more force than I probably should have used, it turned. Victory. I moved on to the next step, unscrewing the faucet. This is where things got tricky. As soon as I loosened the first piece, a little bit of water dribbled out. No big deal, I thought. But then it turned into a full-blown stream. Within seconds, water was gushing out of the pipe like a fire hydrant. I panicked and tried to twist the valve back off, but it wouldn't move. It was stuck. Like, completely stuck. At this point, I was drenched. My kitchen was rapidly turning into a kiddie pool, and I was screaming, "Why is this happening?" into the void. I grabbed every towel I owned and threw them on the floor, but it was no use. The water was winning. My neighbor heard the commotion and knocked on my door. When I opened it, she just stood there, staring at the tiny river now flowing into the hallway. Need help?" she asked. I nodded like a drowning person clinging to a life raft. She called her brother, who's apparently some kind of DIY wizard. He showed up in 10 minutes, took one look at the situation, and said, "You forgot to turn off the main water line." Oh, the main water line. Right. You know, the thing every tutorial casually mentions, but somehow I'd completely ignored. He shut it off in 2 seconds, grabbed his toolbox, and fixed the faucet in like 5 minutes. Meanwhile, I stood there, soaked to the bone, holding a soggy towel and questioning every life choice that had led me to this moment. By the time it was over, my kitchen looked like a hurricane had passed through, and I was too embarrassed to even make eye contact with my neighbor or her brother. They were nice about it, though. It happens to everyone, they said. Sure, everyone floods their kitchen on a random Tuesday. Moral of the story, if you ever think how hard can it be, the answer is harder than you think. And maybe just call a plumber. It's worth it.